It's
So,
happening.
I would like each and every one of you all to gather around the table and let me tell you all a Voden fable. To gather around for the tale of these band of misfits, the tale of the corruption within, and that of an everlasting frost. For this, my friends, be the infamous tale of the Frostmaiden. Previously, our heroes were found in the midst of a blizzard with the ally and friend in Thorin taken by the Stormbird. Or the robot chicken, as people say. But regardless, as he soared off, they'd be greeted with a new ally in an elven man named Karas, as well as an old friend in Bjorn. That being said, however, there wouldn't be time for many introductions as the Horde neared for their demise, and through quick wits and close calls, our heroes would be able to use their combined might to escape the Horde. Upon doing so, they'd make their way back to Oyama-Nartok and Aegon's home for a night's rest. However, when they returned to Oyama-Nartok, the werebear warrior was nowhere to be found. Aegon insisted that he looked for her, while the rest of the others decided to go towards the orb of the arena and get stronger. However, upon doing so, they were met with several rambunctious individuals known as the Ascent, and they'd see a familiar face in a panda warrior from aboard the ship where our hero's journey began. And upon revealing said information to the Pandaladin, this information would send memories rushing back into his mind. Regardless, the individuals needed assistance in growing stronger, and they need their help to escape out of here, with a challenge being placed in front of them. That said, survivors, listen now. The challenge has been laid out. Will you conquer it in Session 7, or will you all falter and meet your demise in the next session of Rime of the Frostmaiden? And that being said, adventurers, let us begin with today's adventure. Alrighty. That said, let me get you guys your map and show you exactly where the heck you are. For some of you, this will be a pretty usual map at this point. For others, not so much. So, let's see what happens. Oh, goodness. Oh, boy. Oh, what the hell are you doing here? Eh, you're fine. Alright, that said, let me get you guys a bit of ambience and all of that sort of stuff. And you guys should be good. Alright, so, at this point in time, as you all begin to get a hold of your surroundings and just almost begin to finish conversing with the rest of the other individuals, you look back to where we find the likes of the Ascent seems to have vanished. You look towards the individual, this sort of this sort of smaller head off to the side, and as he seems to have sort of claimed his name to be Mimir. You watch as his eye begins to stop shining, and he begins to say as he drops down to the ground. Well, before he says anything, you see as his head begins to actually float back towards the stand off to the side where you see it was originally placed and residing. As you see, up here, right over here. Oh, man. You see as it begins to slowly just sort of place itself back onto the area off to the side. And as it does, you see as it begins to say, "Alright, well, looks like you ran out of time. Oh, well, and I guess in the meantime, you're free to do as you wish and dawdle about, explore, ask some questions, and when you're ready for the next challenge, you let me know." As it begins to float off to the side, he looks down upon each and every single one of you. That said, you all begin to see, almost on time and in fashion, looking up towards the sky itself begins to sort of flicker from that of a darkened sky, or from a darkened sky of what you can probably assume to be night, immediately to a brightened one to signify day. That said, in all this moment in time and all of these happenings, what do you guys say and what do you guys do?
Hey boss, it's the talking head.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
we eat it?
I doubt that would be a good idea.
Probably doesn't taste good.
Yeah. Who knows where the body is? That could be another thing.
Just eat it.
You think so, Mr. K?
We can see what happens.
Okay. She is gonna go right up towards the talking head.
All right.
Not necessarily to eat it, but she
Yeah.
will go up to it.
Move your token. All right. As you do, and also to keep in mind, this talking head, if you will, it is about 15 feet up in the air, and it's like sort of attached to this sort of stand area off to the side. So it is in an elevated position. So as you begin to walk up towards and look up towards the individual, what do you say, or what do you do?
Hello, sir. Ma'am. Ed.
What?
What are we doing here?
Well, I think I kind of know all that. Well, I guess we can start off with this one. Why'd you come here? What brought you into the likes of the arena?
I'm gonna look around and be like, 'cause it's a big, fun, sparkle death ball. Light.
Well, you're not too wrong with that one, but so is that the only reason you decide just to come over here to sort of go into big sparkly death ball is what you called it?
And then she's gonna look over to Mr. K and she's like, wanted to also check this place out.
What did you say? Sorry?
Didn't you want to check this place out?
Well, yeah, I had to come here.
Yeah, he has to come here.
Alright, well, what you're seeking, typically most of the people want to end up sort of coming along to probably get stronger, gain a couple of boons and rewards, but we'll see. Doesn't come for free. Gotta earn it, gotta earn your keep.
So when do we start?
Well, I think that's up to you. As I said before, whether you were talking to the other individuals, there's a couple of challenges sort of laid out. Those are the other individuals, I believe the likes of, I think their names were, Zephyr, Spike, and Amethyst. Mushroom never told me his name, but I know his name. I think they're going by Ingot for now. Or Shiny, one or the other. That one. Then there's the likes of Amethyst and Myra, was it? Those individuals, they are doing the challenge, so... Next challenge, if you're sort of up to it, trying to gain a little bit of strength, it's not necessarily one of, not necessarily one of brute strength, that's the last one. This one upcoming is a little bit, more of knowledge, or gaining that of knowledge. But I guess I should probably introduce myself. So, that being said, wait, actually, real quick, if you could humor me and answer me one question. Who the fuck is that guy over there? He's gonna look off.
Who is he?
A big guy with the bird face?
Yeah, that's the one.
He's cool. That's who he is. He's just really cool. He takes people into taverns. Why am I telling you this? And why do you want to know? I thought you knew everything.
Well, don't know everything as much people would sort of imagine. Being locked up here for a couple 100 years will do that to you.
Oh, so you weren't attached to my candle friend?
No. I've been residing there for a while now.
I'm just gonna see that, wow, that her boss is just away from the talking head. She's like, excuse me, please. And she's gonna run towards where he is.
Alright. As you do, Lika, you begin to dash on over to the likes of Anth. Anth, at this point, you see as the Keeper is just sort of looking at several individual statues, from what you can tell. Anth, you, no role needed as an oracle. You know that these are statues of the gods themselves. You see he's just sort of examining them and walking around.
I am not an oracle.
Oh, not oracle, excuse me, pious.
Yeah.
That was the one.
Yeah, okay.
You see as he just begins to sort of look around, almost kind of like as if he's in an art museum, just sort of eyeing them up and down, just puzzling for a moment. That said, do you say or do anything to him?
Big man? Walking towards him, just say, what's so interesting about the statues, big man?
He will begin to, he doesn't necessarily speak, he will... He will look behind you to see if something is looking. And he will then begin to sort of tap his sort of head and then begin to point to the shadow, or not the shadows, the statues.
Okay. Can't you talk?
He will begin to shake his head no, and then sort of put a sort of motion, or kind of like choking motion over his own neck. And then shake his head again.
Can I roll Can I roll a quick history check to see if I remember him talking?
I mean, yeah, sure, if you want.
Okay.
It's not that hard of a DC for it. Even with a 5, yeah. You do remember him talking because he talked to you, or he said something, the last time you sort of, saw him. Well, second to last time you saw him in the midst of the blizzard.
What happened to your throat?
You will see as he begins to sort of push a finger over his sort of beak, like as, kind of like a silence motion, point to himself. He's like basically doing charades at this point, but kind of does like a little binoculars or a binocular sort of motion and then point up to the sky.
Is something bad gonna happen if you talk?
He nods his head yes.
Okay. Better not talk then.
He... Oh boy. This is gonna be interesting. Oh man. Well, he can't say, or there's no reason or logical or reasonable way he could probably be able to say that sort of thing or do that through charades, so he's just gonna keep on going about himself. That being said, eventually, as he's sort of just rummaging about, he'll come to this sort of point towards, eventually about to this statue off to the side. Those of you who want, you guys can make a religion check to see who is this statue. But you see as he begins to actually kind of like step up onto the stand and begins to sort of reach around like behind the individual. 12, 14, and 8. With a 12 and 14, Lika and Anthe, you know that this is Kuranos, this god of the storms, or typically known as the Storm Father by, his worshippers. But you see as he begins to just sort of reach around, behind his back, and you see as he begins to just sort of pull another individual out from around the statue. And you see as he pulls out this individual. Pyre, as you begin to sort of come back into consciousness after being taken from, well, I guess the Keeper's realm, as you have no idea what the heck it is, you eventually see yourself, all these sort of, these visions and imageries coming directly into your mind all at once, and you see yourself surrounded in an arena of multiple glowing statues, some familiar individuals, but some not so much off to the side. That said, what do you say and what do you do as the Keeper just begins to take you and set you down?
So, is this kind of like a scene where like a hand reaches in out between from the ether behind me and like yanks me through a portal sort of scenario?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
Okay. I'd probably probably come through and go, "What? Give a man a warning, will ya?"
I'll shrug.
I'm starting to like you.
He'll give you a head pat.
He probably like puts out like part of his hair and he's just sitting there like putting it back.
That being said, you guys all see the likes of Pyre return, and as it happens, is there anything you guys say?
Hi, Mr. Pyre. How are you today? I got your name right.
Hello, N. How are you? Or Lika?
Who's in?
Who's that?
I read the wrong one.
Oh man. That being said, you do eventually see as Zappy just begins to bolt directly towards you, Pyre, and begins to just almost straight up tackle you nearly. Jumps up and just starts trying to sort of lick your face if he can. But
I'm probably like holding and petting him, roughhousing with him a little bit.
easy enough.
Who are you?
This, looking strangely at you guys. I'm supposed to be asking you that. Who are you?
Name's Karas.
Name's Pyre. I'm looking at Lika, pointing to him, going, "Where? Huh?" I also then look over to Anth as well, going,
And just looking away as if he's investigating this gate. Not really because of the curiosity of the gate, but just to look away.
"Gotcha. So, what happened? Why am I here? Where are we?"
Seems like you got another friend, at the very least. There's the time one.
Who are you? Looking up at the floating head.
Alright. Guess it's a pleasure. You see, he's just sort of speaking. He's not necessarily like looking at you. He's literally just facing straight ahead, but just sort of still speaking towards your way. Alright. I be Mimir. At least, at least all of you. Crew fix is what you'd probably call me, but prefer not to be called that.
Wait, how?
Did you say your next? What else is your other name?
Crew fix. You'd know him to be the god of horizons.
Oh.
And at least his reflection, a mirror of the Norse pantheon. I've forgotten.
So you're them, or you're just a them?
Well, it's a long story, but essentially, I had to explain this to the others, but right now, well, here. Let's see exactly how much you know. Do you know exactly the difference between the gods and all the three realms of Odin?
Ooh, can I pull out my notebook and start searching for crucifix mention?
Crufix. And actually, here, let me spell it out for you.
Sorry.
No, you're good, you're good. This is just so you guys can add it to your notes.
Oh. By the way, I forgot to fill out the thingy for Karas, right? But also, Crufix is the one he worships.
Oh, okay. Good to know, good to know. So you would definitely, yeah, you no real need to, you instantly recognize that name, obviously. But, you will hear as he begins to say, Crufix is a little bit of my reflection, but as I was saying, you know how the things with the gods and how they work in Voden between all the three realms? At least the realms, you know. I'm gonna take that silence as a no.
No.
Alright.
I can't recall some things in my mind.
Well, and you guys are also gonna see as the keeper just sort of picks up Bjorn, just literally like, well, kind of just slings him over his shoulder and just begins to just start picking him up and just comically walking away with him.
Before he goes, he will feel a small, like, little paw on his coat, just like the bottom part of his thing. And Leo's gonna go, "Thank you for taking care of him."
So he sort of tips his hat.
Where are you taking him?
He'll point up.
Huh? What's there?
You look over and see just a starry-filled sky. Even though it is daytime, like the likes of it, like the sky isn't really like blue. It's just kind of like a lighter gray than what you saw from earlier, and it's just literally filled with stars and constellations as well.
I think he just has some kind of a divine tree house.
Oh, a tree house, is it? Aren't you a funny man?
No, I'm serious.
There... Sorry.
Divine treehouse. Oh, that'd be something. That'd be something. Well, that said, if there's no other questions for the keeper, you will see as he will eventually begin to just keep carrying Bjorn. And eventually begin to just sort of walk off and just sort of phase directly through the likes of this sort of entryway. As he does, he dissipates and vanishes. Alright. That said, Mimir over here, we're talking to you guys. I'll just say, well, that was strange, but as I was saying, so if you didn't know, well, I'm kinda from Voden. Not really, but kinda. Essentially, there's three realms, from what you know. Forbidden Expanse, Asia Taiga, and the Valley of Dragons. Sound familiar?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I come from the valley.
I see. Well, I don't know if you've ever if any of you have ever traveled between one or the other, but essentially the way it works is the gods, they're kind of interpreted differently from region to region. For example, Erebos, god of death, to most of you. He'll look entirely different compared to, or in the Expanse compared to the Asia Tiger. All that sort of stuff. Sort of shifts and changes every now and again. Now, thing is, the whole reason why I mention it is because, well, I mentioned Crewfix earlier. Over towards the Asia, Taiga and whatnot before, well, me and my, friends were sort of locked away in the tree, or below it. We used to sort of rule over the realm of the Taiga. Well, it's Crewfix before we end up getting split up. Several reflections of ourselves.
Are you lonely by yourself here, Talking Head? She will literally call him Talking Head. She will not remember his name.
Well, he will correct you regardless, so this is gonna be a thing. Mimir. Kinda gets a little lonely around here, but, it gets interesting enough with random chuckle fucks just sort of wandering on in here.
Oh, like us?
Right. He just sort of cracks a smile. Sort of. Well, I will say you probably don't want to sort of mix me in with the likes of the new Crewfix and whatnot. Fuck has gone mad, I'll tell you. Well, regardless.
When he starts talking about new Crewfix and all that, Pyre kind of looks up to him. What do you know about someone called the Frostmaiden?
Oh boy.
Who is the Frostmaiden?
Well, I know who the Frostmaiden is. I haven't personally met her, but one of you have before. Actually, all of you kinda have.
What?
Well, not you. Probably not you. The others have, though.
What?
Pyre holds up his left hand with the mark. Is this her mark?
That, wish I could say it was, but, not necessarily that one. Or really any of the ones that you guys got. It's not really a thing.
What are these marks? Because they have power.
That I can't tell you. See, one thing, being the god of knowledge and other things, it comes with a lot of benefits, but it also comes with a lot of caveats. See, thing is, can't really go blabbing all about. You'll learn this soon enough if you haven't already. Here's a little tip. Knowledge is power, but it's also very dangerous, see. You learn certain things that you shouldn't. Terrible things happen. Forced to keep your mouth shut.
Pyre shifts a little bit and kind of puts a hand on his book.
Anthrax also a little looks away.
I think I experienced something weird while reading the pillars.
Mika's gonna look straight at the Talking Head and be like, why do we have to be silent? We're talking now.
Well, not about all things, just certain things. See, learning a bit of knowledge and whatnot here and there is perfectly fine, but I mean, depends on what type of knowledge and who from. See, those marks right there, that's one of the things that's forbidden knowledge that I can't really tell you, or you might die. But, just for an example.
What about... There was something I was reading. As soon as I got into that point.
Oh, you mean that thing, the one with the word? No. Fuck no, we're not dealing with that again. No, we already had enough of those shenanigans with that one over there.
Wait, what?
What? Did he write the same thing on the piece of paper?
Oh, they didn't fucking tell him, huh?
Wait, who did they just point to?
He can't point, he's a floating head.
Pirate, who are you talking about? Kind of like...
Oh, the blue man showed him a piece of paper.
The blue man? What?
I was blue. Also, real quick before I forget, Raven has gifted you an inspiration point, Bimroth, and Quaint Cat has gifted you an inspiration point, Lika, from earlier.
Yay!
There you go.
Thank you.
Alright. Well, they'll tell you soon enough and whatnot, but, enough shenanigans, probably is for the best. Don't want any more people knowing about it.
Hold on, I wanna know if it was the same thing. Do you have a piece of paper? Looking around at someone.
The guy with like a book with papers falling out of it looks at you.
Okay, you have something to write with.
The wizard intensifies.
Follow-up question.
Hands him the quill out of his bag.
Okay.
As hands him the quill that he's been like taking notes with.
Garrus will write Paris on the piece of paper and point it and show it to the floating head. What does that mean?
I see. That right there is, kind of like a sacred land for me and my kind. Not too far from here, actually. Not too far.
What's there?
Oh. That is, Theros. That is the, planet of the divine and whatnot. Well, planet of mythos and tales and stuff like that. Typically the most common area where the gods sort of reside, if not Mount Celestia. And that's where you guys are right now.
Is Karas giving Pyre back his thing?
Yeah.
Pyre writes down another word that he's been trying to keep secret. Goes, what's this mean? And just kind of like keeps it away from everyone. And then kind of drops
the thick
it.
of it.
And just shreds it and like catches on fire as soon as he sees it.
Shit. Here we go again.
Ah, shit. Here we go again. You see... Well, okay, hold on. Are you showing
Garrus
it...
be able to see it?
Well,
from that
hold on. Yeah,
angle?
that's what I'm saying. So you're showing it from right here, right, Pyre?
I am hang on. I am probably like stepping up and like turning away from Karas and just kind of showing him real quick and then like dropping the paper and like catching on fire so no one else can see it.
Okay, I figured as much, so that's why I was like, I was making sure. Animus, I arrived to the meme moments on, So here's what happens. Immediately as you show, Mimir, the paper with the word on it. Oh boy, and it said, hold on, remind me what it said, because I remember, I have an idea, because there's a lot of fucking notes and papers going around. I want to know exactly what yours says.
Elysian.
Gotcha.
Elysain.
Gotcha, alright, I thought so. So you see as immediately his one eye begins to go wide and open up and he immediately shines over you and the paper. As it does... No, that doesn't happen. Oh, thank God. That would be bad. Oh, thank God. But, you see as he just begins to scream out, "Alright, boy, put that away! What are you doing?" Fucking hell.
That's when
What?
like Pyre rips it up and catches it on fire. I don't know. That's why I asked.
First you and
What was
then the
it?
fucking tiefling. Jeez, fucking... Are you trying to start it again?
It was all his fault.
Starting what? Pyre's just kind of looking around like, what?
Oh boy. That one. Listen here. And please do. That right there is very sensitive information. You may not want to go showing that around to everybody. Like I said before. I don't know where the fuck you guys learned that. But I think you may want to burn that information as soon as possible and never talk about it again.
As soon as he says that, Pyre turns around and tackles and
That said, Pyre, you immediately rush over. I need you to make an athletics check and make an acrobatics or an athletics check to resist, because I'm assuming you want to resist.
What am I rolling? And second of
Athletics.
all, anti.
Oh boy, you gotta be a 16, wizard boy. Here we go. You know, I'm just gonna play this combat music just gonna throw that out there.
Can I just say Anth rolled a 5?
Oh, yeah, you can if you want.
That's okay. If that's what's happening here.
It doesn't matter because I rolled a 3.
Okay, cool.
I rolled a
Nico will
5.
just get in range and trip you up if at all possible.
Well, here's what happens. Hold on 1 second. One at a time. Alright, so basically, you see as Pyre begins to just sprint out towards him, and Lika, you just sort of hold out that of your tail and use it to sort of trip Pyre up. As it happens, you see as Pyre just goes skidding across the side before Anth is able to dodge out of the way and just keep running. You see as... Did you use your portent or no?
I mean, I said I did, and then I rolled a 3. So that's up to your DM discretion if it actually burned it or not.
Well, Tip, you can. The reason why is because you can use it after you roll, like after the roll is and all that stuff. You just don't get to know what the result is yet. But in this case, Sarah, you kind of, as a player, know what the result is and all that stuff. So if you didn't want to use your portent for that, you can. Or
No,
you don't have
I'll
to.
just let it go.
Mm-hmm. All right, so mark it down. As this happens, Anth, you see his Pyre is just, after he just tries to tackle you onto the ground, he sort of skids off to the side. Anth, what are you doing?
You wrote the paper, not me. You should be angry at me.
Give me the paper! Give me the paper!
Okay, neither me or Thorin have that paper anymore. That has the text on it, so you don't need to worry about that anymore. It's in for more responsible hands, I think.
So you actually gave the paper away, or are you trying to bluff this?
Well, he actually gave the paper away.
Yeah. I don't have it anymore.
Can I roll an insight on that to see if you're lying?
All right, make an insight check. Or Anth, make just a general charisma check. And then I'll add the bonuses for you afterwards. Did you roll? It didn't show up for some reason. There you go. 15 on Pyre. He's hard to read. You're not entirely sure. That being said, from what it seems to be, he seems to be truthful, from what you can tell.
I mean, I didn't suppose Leek had said like in character that and gave it away.
Yeah.
You can believe her if you don't trust me.
I'm just gonna keep looking at both of you, trying to see if you're lying.
Shit. Karas,
Yeah.
do you mind coming over?
What? What is the circus? Why is
Dude,
he trying to?
do you remember when I gave away that note to that big
Panda Man?
bear? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, you have even more sources, so just I don't have it anymore.
What does that piece of paper say?
I think they just
And
didn't
walked away,
fucking listen to me, did they? They really don't fucking listen, you know? It's sometimes just like, oh, God of knowledge, like, oh, fuck that guy doesn't know shit. You see, it's just Mimir just
It
talking.
must be hard to be a talking head.
Hey, he turns around and goes, "You are the god of knowledge. Do you know if they actually gave it away?"
All you had to do was just fucking ask. Yes, they gave it away.
Pyre like starts dusting off like himself and like anything that got on him. Sorry, little overreaction there.
And just comes back and just points you and buds away. Thorin always had a fake one that he never. I took it away from him. You should be thanking me.
Hey, from where I saw, all I saw was you duplicated paper, and that's all I knew. All right, we're good to go then. And he just kind of turns around like sheepishly and like just kind of like finds a random statue and acts like he's studying it.
All right.
Okay. So when turns out to the head, when do we begin?
All right. Well, thing is, you can begin now if you want. All that stuff. Then you can prepare for the next challenge and sort of explore afterwards. You want to start now with the challenge?
I do.
All right. Well, let's begin. All right.
Finish the circus.
Someone get me down. Fuck it, I'll get myself down. Alright. And you see as he will begin to, his eye will begin to shine for a brief moment, and you'll see as he will begin to float for a brief moment.
Nice trick.
Alright. Kinda used to it at this point. Anybody got anything to tie me around their waist or something?
Is
Sure.
Mage hand enough to
Well, I'll be fine. Alright.
carrying him around?
That being said, you sort of carry him around, and as you do, you're sort of just basically carrying a head around with the mage hand, as it's like a little rope attached to his head. Alright. Alright, over that way. That's where the next challenge is. We'll see as Zappy begins to just sort of run over, and he begins to just slowly start trying to gnaw on Mimir's beard.
And we'll just lift him a little.
He sees he begins to try to go on his hind legs and try to like jump up and bite towards him. Oh, fucking hell with you, goddamn beast.
I resemble that remark. Exactly.
As we're walking over, hearing like, "Hey, do you have anything to put me on?" Pyre pulls out a quarterstaff and is looking at it. It's like, "Oh, okay."
Actually,
then
no, I
kinda-
like that one a little bit more. It's kind of a little bit more demoralizing because then at least it'll look a little cool.
Can always tie you to my armor.
That's true, that's true. Regardless.
Is Lika upset with me?
Mika's gonna look at her javelin and then she's gonna look at the quarterstaff. Eyes kind of slit slowly into like disappointment before she remembers that her javelin is actually a magic javelin she gets. And she's like, well, whatever. I at least have a pointy end.
Alright.
Blame boy to blame betrayal.
So, it seems to be, this little thing right here, this little, what you call it, puzzle, seems to be that there's only, the likes, 4 of you for this. I mean, besides the dog. Dog won't really be much use for this one. So,
How
I'll
do you
be
know?
well, because I have to run this puzzle multiple times, multiple challenges, you know, the whole thing. Thing is, you're gonna need at least someone else. So, you want me to go get the bear? Or the bald one? Probably the bear's probably the one that's the most available.
Oh, you mean the Thunder Bear? Like the one that was all like shouty at us for knowing him, and we're like, no, we don't know you.
Slightly, that's probably be the one. But,
Ah, shit.
Sure, bring the bear. Whoever.
The
Alright.
Thunder Bear. you guys are talking about a thunder bear, and Pyro's going,
I just want to get it over with and leave.
More like a bear with an attitude, like thunder.
What's that?
Oh, he was shouting, wasn't
Oh.
he? Like, he was shouting, and there was, like, sparks of electricity.
It's an angry bear.
I'm an angry bear. And her tail will floof out a little bit at that.
That's good.
Alright, alright. Okay, 1 second. Just, hold on 1 moment. Alright, well,
Mr. Fire.
beneath the bear. Alright, he'll be in a minute. You'll see as Mimir's eye begins to sort of shine for a brief moment. Well, in the meantime, well, this is sort of getting together. Got any questions to ask me, or you can talk amongst yourselves while everything's getting ready?
Is this a smart person puzzle?
I'll be honest with you. Yeah, but
Usually,
it'll be alright. The other group, I think from what I can tell, they seem to go pretty good with that, and they seem to be as smart as a bunch of rocks. But hey, they surprised me. So, you should be fine.
this is the puzzle that was on stream the other day, wasn't it?
Oh, no, it won't be. But that's what he's referring to.
Okay.
That mushroom didn't really look very smart, I'll be honest.
I like that mushroom. He's my shroom buddy. He's cool.
Yeah.
He likes gold.
Who doesn't like gold?
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. I wish I had... Oh, actually, I want apples, not gold. But
Yeah.
if you get a whole... You can get a whole bunch of apples with 1 piece of gold.
Wait, what the
You get
fuck?
like 12.
Wait, what the fuck? When did
get-
you join? Wait, hello? Wait.
Shortly after you mentioned Thunder Bear.
Wait, what? Yeah. Wait, when the fuck did
were you
Finn
trying to
get
read him right?
Wait, I look over, I'm like, dang, why has Finn taking so long to join? Hello? What's going on over here? I look over to
Well,
my
let's
left
wait
and I
for
just
him.
see Finn just like...
Fast
Oh,
as
yeah.
lightning.
He's been here for a while.
Wait,
Yeah.
what? I did not know. Okay,
I've been
my
here
bad.
an hour, man. Like, jeez. Like, hey, come on, man.
Jesus. Okay, my bad. Alright, well, here's what I'll get your... If you want to use face cam, I'll get your face cam and stuff on the stream. I'll be doing that off to the side, but... You guys see as the keeper begins to sort of... Or actually, no, it's no need for the keeper, actually. Mimir can do it himself. You see as Mimir begins to sort of shine out with a sort of purple light, and as it happens, you see slowly apparating and appearing once more that of a bearkin individual who seems to be who seems to be that of a panda from what you saw from before. As you see this individual. Hold up. Zephyr, why did you have... Okay, there we go. There we go. So, Zephyr, to catch you back up and to understand exactly where you are chronologically at the moment, this is right before you guys are getting ready to fight the likes of those individuals from, that I mentioned at the end of the game. Or at the end of the last game. So this is like right afterwards.
Oh,
Is this the panda you guys gave the paper to?
Oh no.
Oh, right.
It doesn't stop, does it? It doesn't stop.
You guys mentioned a panda, and I'm assuming Pyre has seen a panda before.
Ah, shit, he had to go here.
No, it's not that one.
Are you
Oh,
Yes.
what am I doing here?
Oh,
Are
hello,
you
Mr.
lying?
Thunderbear.
Yes.
I just looked at Connor. You're really shit at that. You're really-
As soon as he notices Zephyr as a panda, did they give you a piece of paper?
Who's asking? Who are you, actually? I didn't see you last time.
I don't know where I came from, but where's the paper? Give me the paper. Burn the paper.
We
Give
have
me
a
the
puzzle
paper.
to solve. Mr. Thunderbear, sir. I don't know your name. Otherwise, I would call you by your name.
Zephyr.
Zephyr. Zephyr. Hello, I'm Lika. It's a pleasure to meet you. Don't give him any pieces of paper. It's bad.
I look at Lika. I was the one that created it. I'm gonna destroy it.
So you're the one who made it.
He's at
How do you
fault.
find? How do you find out what it said?
Pyre just goes quiet. Just destroy the paper.
You'll take out a piece of paper, and just with the zap of electricity, you just see it disintegrate, pretty much.
Easy enough.
Was
Uh.
Can-
Question.
Oh.
Karos, you were probably looking at that paper, weren't you?
Yes.
Oh, it was folded up. It was folded. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah. You got lucky, because I remember you did say you folded it last time. That's right. You got lucky. Alright.
Are you sure that's destroyed? I don't want anyone else getting a hold of it.
Where did you find that information anyway?
Pyre like just kind of freezes as
It's a weird
Karas is
overlay.
asking this. In my studies.
Where?
In my studies, and that's all he's gonna tell you.
And where did you study?
Everything.
He's also very bad at lying.
From the sounds of it. What am I doing here? Why am I not with the others?
Alright. Gonna need you for a little bit. So, thing is, their challenge, they need they need a total of 5 people. They only got 4 at the moment. Need a little bit of assistance from you. Willing to help for a little bit?
I suppose.
Alright. Good to hear, good to hear. That said, oh god, just fucking destroyed the overlay for a second.
Do I have the right link to Foundry? Because it's taking forever.
It should be the one in Soulbound. You can look in Rime the Frostmaiden, look at pinned messages and in-game content, and go from there.
Hmm.
Alright, I'm gonna copy. Boom. Okay, where are you?
I mean, it might
at?
just be my internet today is probably just terrible.
Yeah, it's
Oh
fine.
no.
Alright, we're gonna copy over fish, and we're gonna get good old Finn. Hey, there's Finn.
Yay.
Oh, there's the overlay.
Where am I? Oh,
Oh god, stop breaking the overlay. Not you,
No.
it's me and my end. Alright.
Killing
Lasers, not
players,
me?
breaking overlays. I mean,
Alright, there we go. I got it. We're good.
Yeah.
Poggers. Alright,
why? Just why?
boom.
That's just how it works.
That's just the way it is. And I will get everything out in just a moment. So, in the meantime, Mimir will just begin to say, alright, well, simple thing. Couple of, this one's a classic and whatnot. I can't really tell you too much about it, but you have to sort of figure it out for yourself. Alright, so you see as in front of you begins to appear, now granted I won't have the tokens for him, but you will see as several large pillars begin to appear right in front of your eyes. As they do, it seems to be looking towards them. They seem to be kind of holding their faces and kind of just screaming. You also see as there are a total of 5 sort of pillars off to the side. You can see as there are faces, there are little compartments or over there. That said, you have to investigate further to learn more about it. Alright, well, here's the challenge and whatnot. All you gotta do is just figure out how to solve it. Granted, I will not gonna lie to you. It is a little bit of timed. You got about a total of about 30 minutes to sort of figure this one out. Should be more than enough time though.
What happens if we do not?
Well, you fail. And you're gonna have to do another challenge. And who knows, you may end up being stuck here forever. So, let's not do that. If we can help it.
So you said there's 5 pillars, each pillar holding their faces with compartments in them?
Yeah, so they're like ingrained into the pillars themselves, like into the stone. There is just iconography of people just sort of screaming out and just holding their faces.
Okay. As a question out of character, we're allowed to take notes and kind of stuff like that for this challenge?
Yeah, for this one, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why the thing is, there we go. We're good. Alright, so, at this point, timer has begun. I will set 30 minutes on my phone. Time is ticking. What do you guys do?
We all see the compartments on each one of the statues, correct?
Yep.
Where are the statues located?
They are located directly over here. Let me see if I can ping it. Closer towards the sort of gates off to the side. Granted, on the map itself, it won't have the pillars, but so you're just gonna have to imagine it. But towards each of these, there are compartments and pillars and whatnot.
Okay.
We'll inspect the compartment on the first pillar.
All right. As you begin to do so, oh boy, over to the first pillar over here, you see, or as you open up that at the compartment, you see an orb off to the side. Seems to be purple in color and nature.
Oh! I touch it with my mark.
Alright. As you do, oh boy. You know this one. Oh goodness. And just like this, PTSD was triggered. Oh wait. Oh no. Now this is comedy. Now this is comedy. Hey Bimroth.
What?
Welcome back to the show. Look in your DMs. And you can't say anything about it. No meta knowledge either.
Oh! No!
And it was at that moment Bimroth's PTSD was triggered.
So he just disappears without any knowledge?
No, you guys just see as Karas begins to just sort of touch the orb, and none of this is happening in character, but yeah. Oh man.
So nothing happened.
Nothing. Well, it does like you do see as over sort of Karas's sort of form, it does begin to kind of glow this sort of purple light around him like a silhouette.
It's in character.
Oh boy. All right then. You do see then as Karas begins to just sort of almost writhe in pain for a brief moment. Oh man.
What
Have
the
you
fuck?
guys figured out not to really go about mixing your symbols with others?
No.
We really
I don't
haven't
know
had
anything
to talk
about these
about.
symbols. Do you know?
Well, I know a lot of my teammates are rather idiots. So, what I can say is just don't. I know you, Laika, and Myra from my lot, you both touched your symbols and somehow you didn't explode.
I could have exploded.
You know, we should
I'm
probably.
not too sorry.
You know, we should really focus on this.
Hey,
Yeah.
what's in the other compartments? You guys have a lead or anything?
Can Pyre just start like walking over and just opening compartments and just walking down the line?
Oh,
Also,
all right.
also as Karas was trying to say that, he was in pain.
Are you still touching the orb?
No.
I already touched it.
Yeah.
Zephyr will just walk to the next pillar and open up the compartment.
All right. As you do, you walk over, move your token and all that stuff.
I am not able to access Foundry.
I gotcha. Alright, so you walk on over to the next one off to the side, and you see a red orb.
Is there room behind the pillars or statues?
There's a room behind him. There is, but just from a quick glance, it doesn't seem to be anything.
Pyre opens up the next pillar next to Zephyr.
All right. You see a golden orb, or a yellow one.
Another one of these orbs. Open up the rest.
All right. You open up the rest. You see a blue, and you see a green. As all the compartments are open.
We have purple, orange, yellow, blue, and green.
Purple, red. This one over here is red.
Okay.
Yellow, blue, and green.
Do these match up with the statues at all? The colors?
They seem to all the statues seem to have the same sort of thing of just people with their over their hands over their heads and they're just screaming and
I thought I could match it with my mark, but nothing really happened.
Have you tried with your other hand? You know, the one that's not got the infectious mark on it.
I touched the orb again with with the hand that has no mark on.
as you do so, nothing begins to happen.
Yep.
Are you able to move it?
See? Oh. And now he goes down in pain.
And you see as he just drops down and begins to almost sort of, or begins to just sort of almost writhe for a second.
Link
Like-
is gonna go directly to Karas and be like, I don't think you should be touching that.
Well, I already did.
Yeah, don't touch it anymore.
Yeah,
Wow,
sure.
Lika is really so sassy today. I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I won't. And as soon as he says that again, he drops down in pain again.
And would probably try to do the same and just put his hand without the mark on the green orb and try to move it or see if it's just light or a physical object.
Alright, as you begin to do so, you watch as Anth's form begins to course with a green outline. Oh boy, here we go. Hey, Riku, check your DMs. Hold on. Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. I gotta see. Okay.
Now, you know what's a funny thing? Hold on. Never mind. I just.
Alright, there we go.
I mean, if no one's gonna stop him, two people have touched this orb. Pyre's gonna do the same thing. He's gonna touch the
no.
yellow one in front of him. Oh, well, no, if you stop me, I'm not gonna do it.
Let's ask them how they feel. You know, the last test, pain was almost part of it. You too. How are you feeling?
I'm fine now.
Not too
I
bad.
don't know what's going on. Just, and as I say, I drop down in pain.
This has something to do with word association, doesn't it? And every time you say just, it is a trigger for pain.
Well,
Going to pull out the spear that she has in her hand. She's going to see if the lights will move with the spear.
As you do, nothing seems to happen.
Kind of like a shish kebab. They move. Are they like, I know they're glowing lights, but are they?
They're inside of pillars right now. The pillars aren't on the map, but so there's like there's only a little small compartment that you can sort of reach out to interact with them.
I have to go
Wait.
upstairs for a sec.
Okay.
Blue man.
Yeah.
Are you able to speak at all? Is there a word that's causing you pain?
No, I don't think so. Just time to time I feel like sometimes just have a little sore throat, nothing else.
Oh.
Sore throat?
At this point, Pyre's gonna touch the orb.
Oh,
All right.
Jesus.
Which one?
The yellow one.
Alright. As you begin to do so, you watch as Pyre's form begins to course with a yellow silhouette. And as that happens, oh boy. Alright, Pyre, check your DMs.
Well, how are you feeling?
Oh boy. That being
Out
said,
of character, is that only in character or is that just in general?
in general. Oh. Well, like when you're here,
When
DM me
talking
instead.
in-game
DM me instead.
Person.
Oh, seems to be doing something. Seems the other one's zoned out, so I'll ask him a bit later.
Are you going to touch one, Mr. Zephyr?
I don't want to die.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm in
Probably a good
Foundry!
idea.
Yay! Finally!
Hey,
I
Mr.
think.
Talking Head, are these supposed to hurt us?
Alright, mouth shut. Gotta figure it out yourself. That said, you're running out of time. That's all I'm gonna say. 10 minutes, or nearly 10 minutes down.
Well, I'm waiting for the...
Can and move the orb at all, or is it just going to stay there?
Yeah, you can pick it up if you want.
Okay.
Alright. You have a green orb in your hand.
Most
Okay.
of these pillars have malicious manifests.
Say that one more time.
Pyre just goes, most of all, they're not going to murder.
Are you able to take yours out, Flaming Man? I don't know any of your names. I'm on a deadline, so I'm not going to learn it just yet. Are you able to take your orb out of there?
Pyre tries that and tries to pull it out. I
As
don't
he
think
does.
anything happens.
As you do. Same thing as Anth, you're able to pull out the yellow orb.
Okay. Well, we got colors. What happens if you change? Blue man, you put it in where Fireman put his, and Fireman put yours where the blue man put his.
Sure, I don't mind trying that.
Alright. As you begin
Fire
to...
goes along with the plan, yeah.
So you're placing the green orb where?
Placing the green orb into the middle.
Alright. Oop. And you're placing the yellow orb where?
Where the green orb was.
Green orb was. Alright. You see as the orbs begin to reside there. Nothing seems to happen.
Might as well. Zephyr will pick up the orb into his non-symboled hand.
Lika's gonna swipe it with her tail because both her hands have symbols on them.
Alright.
Good idea.
And that's to the one in front of you, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, so, and you're swiping at it, Lika?
Yes.
Okay. As it happens, you see as Lika begins to sort of course with this blue silhouette. As that happens, Lika, check your DMs.
Must these colors be in order mostly?
Is this in character?
Yeah, that's what Pyre says in character.
That's what I'm reckoning.
I wonder if we should try and take them all out at the same time first.
Zephyr will grab his and
Alright.
just yank it out.
As you begin to do so, you watch as Zephyr's form begins to course with a red silhouette. As it does, Finn, check your DMs.
Okie dokie.
Alright. That being said, all of you are glowing at the moment. What do you guys do?
And would also pull the green orb out and stand like a step away from the pillar with it.
Alright, as you do, you have the orb sort of in hand, and it seems to just be residing there.
So
Pyre follows and just pulls the orb back out.
Alright, easy enough.
So, is there a way to put them into an order?
Well, I'm
Because it
pretty
sounds
sure we
like
need
it's a
to put it into a right
crazy
state, okay? We have to.
Sorry.
We only have so much time.
So,
But
is
we
there-
have to keep on going.
Sensei, as a player, I think this is ingenious, but it's also evil.
So, could you say
No,
that again?
let's just get it sorted,
No.
okay? So you put it into another one and you put it into a different one, okay? Zephyr will just go over here and try and put the red one in here.
You got it.
Sure.
Yes, okay, yes, sure.
Sure.
Yes,
Hey,
Okay.
Sensei,
yes.
out of character question.
You may want to
the
probably
character-
DM me. You gotta probably DM me about this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright, go. So, Zephyr, as you begin to place the red orb into where the yellow orb was, the red orb is now where the yellow one was. Nothing seems to happen, though.
Changes it with the green one then.
Change with the green one. Same thing. Nothing seems to happen.
Who's holding the red orb?
Zephyr.
Pyre's just gonna go over, tap your shoulder, and point to the first pillar where Karas is standing.
Well, they're planning to move, and if it's still in his hand, he'll kind of like shove him.
Alright. Easy enough. He can just also just move out of the way. He's not. Bimroth's not here at the moment, but.
Yeah.
You placed the red orb where it was, or where the purple one was, and nothing seems to happen.
Pyre's gonna go and place the yellow orb next to Zephyr without saying anything.
And you placed which one? Where?
Yellow orb here, where the
Gotcha.
purple one is.
Gotcha. Alright, nothing seems to happen.
And would just look at Pyre and just show the orb and any ideas.
Zephyr
Pyre-
will point.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead, Zeph.
Zephyr will kind of like point to all of them and like with his hands kind of like motion back to kind of like, and he pulls his out.
As you do. No reaction.
And Pyre looks at you.
Alright,
Just,
I will say you got 12 minutes and about 40
No,
seconds.
we have to get it sorted, okay, old man.
Pyre points to and Anth, and then just points to the pillar in front of you, and just keeps motioning towards the pillar.
Yeah, okay, and would just put that orb in the middle pillar.
Alright, as
And
you
Pyre
do,
just turns.
nothing happens.
Zephyr pulled the red orb out of the pillar, right?
Yeah. Same thing. Nothing seems to happen.
What happens if I put it back in now?
Nothing.
He'll take it out and kind of like shake it in his hand, kind of like
Shake
trying
it.
to let everyone know, like.
Is
And,
Anth glowing still?
Huh? What?
Or is Karas or Anth glowing still?
Yeah, all of you guys are glowing at the moment. Whether you have it in your hand or not.
Yeah, and would just now move to the next pillar and just say, blue, where?
Somehow, this seems like.
Karas goes
something-
down in pain.
Oh,
By the
yeah,
way.
just sorry,
As
look,
it happens, you guys see as Karas begins to just drop down onto the ground, sort of clutching that of his heart.
Zephyr will look to everyone and just place his lips right here. Or, like, place his finger over his lips. Grab the orb, yank it out, take the other person's hand that's holding an orb, and yank it out as well.
Alright. As you
Pyre
do
pulls
so,
his orb out.
with Pyre, nothing seems to happen. Alright, you
So,
got about
kinda
10
like
more
motioning
minutes.
to everyone else.
Two-thirds of the way left.
Well,
at least with time, I mean.
Yeah, and would like to try switching the blue and the purple orb between their positions.
As you do so, nothing begins to happen.
And he then put the red orb in where it, like the pillar that it's in front of right now, and would motion Pyre to put in the yellow orb in front of his.
Pyre puts it back in the pillar.
Alright. As you do so, nothing begins to happen.
Same with Zephyr.
Nope, nothing. You place and pull and place and pull the orbs in different places, and nothing seems to happen.
Pyre turns around. Is there another set of pillars anywhere in this arena?
Nope.
As you speak that sentence, Karas goes down in pain once more.
Even out of character?
Yeah, I mean, in character. Oh, wait. But I
Violence.
said that in...
Nah, you didn't
Oh,
say
it's
anything.
never mind. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. I probably said that in character. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, and just pulls the blue orb out and stands with it in hand.
Alright. You have an orb.
What are we
Zephyr
gonna do?
will pull his out and kind of like motion everyone else to do the same.
Alright, you have an orb.
Can Pyre pull the orb out and touch the orbs together with Zephyr?
Ooh.
Alright, sure thing. As you do so, the orbs are touching.
Nothing
Zephyr will just give
Nothing
you a
happens.
very weirded out look, but at the same time, after a bit of thinking, a little wink.
Who's glowing?
Everybody.
Is it possible?
Okay.
Quick question.
Which colors? Because I missed that.
Okay, so pausing timer for clarification. Alright, so purple is glowing, or Karas is glowing with purple, Pyre is glowing with yellow, Zephyr is glowing with red, Anth is glowing with green, and then Lika is glowing with blue.
Okay.
Do I have to describe what I think's going on here with these orbs in character?
I'm sure if you want to.
No, like, is it required, or can I talk out of character and like share? my
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, you can talk in character based off of what your character thinks and all that stuff. You know,
Okay.
typical.
So no planning outside of characters.
Yeah.
Is what I'm asking. Okay.
That being said, you got 8 minutes left.
And we'll go to the green orb and pull it out too.
Alright. You have a green orb.
Okay, Zephyr is going to look at the undead and motion for him to do the same. And same with Leica.
Who's that?
I don't know names.
Karas.
The guy who's glowing purple.
Yeah.
Alright.
And he'll look towards Leica to do the same.
Alright.
She's
With-
going to sweep her tail over with the ball. It's going to be a little bit hard.
With your orbs combined, they all begin to touch one another, and nothing happens. Everybody, make intelligence checks for me real quick.
I'm not making one.
You got it.
Just intelligence check.
Intelligence
or
checks.
Fuck.
ability check or saving throw.
Ability check.
30, 20.
Oh boy. Oh man. With a yes, only Pyre. Pyre with a 20. You figure at this point, as you've almost tried every single combination for every single orb, it probably doesn't have to do with moving the orbs around or move where the orbs are placed or what they're doing. It probably doesn't have to do with that.
So movement of the orbs is not a necessity for this.
Yeah, after enough experimentation and testing, it probably has nothing to do with that.
Pyre looks back at the
7
statues.
minutes
They're
left.
visibly in pain, right?
Yeah.
All of them?
Yeah, like all of them have the same sort of symbol on it. Like the same sort of iconography and everything.
Exact same?
Exact same.
Must we cause pain to the whole...
Is this in character?
Yes. Must we...
I think so, and I'm sorry that I'm talking over you. I can't control it.
Must,
And,
must we cause pain
Karas
to
goes down
the...
in pain.
As you see, his
And
cross
who
goes
else?
to drop.
Is anyone else finding something really weird?
Somehow.
No, there's
Somewhere.
really not.
I can
Poorly
only
yet.
talk when someone else is talking.
The pain.
Must we identify what... In character, by the way. Must we identify what is...
And I can't stop.
Fan, check your
talking,
DMs.
please.
Fuck.
Is it
Oh, my God, I can't
Yeah.
fucking type.
the
Okay, I didn't realize that.
question? This is out of character. Do I have to say that? Also out of character. But I have to say.
Just speak in character, and you guys will be fine. Trust me.
Yeah, just talking character.
You'll be
You know what?
you'll be fine.
Pyre goes, I
It will
don't
be
know what's
easier,
going
trust me.
on! Does something happen to him?
Hold up.
Or can he physically not?
He physically
do that?
can't.
Okay, never mind then.
All right.
My speech is impeded by some
I
melancholy.
can.
All right, you got 5 minutes left. You
I'm really sorry about this, Mimir.
Hey,
Do you have to talk
I
over?
I can't help it.
You have to talk over?
Yes.
Alright, that said, you see as Zephyr's silhouette of red begins to slowly dissipate, and the orb shatters in front of him.
What the fuck?
So Zephyr's free now.
Okay, other people, start talking.
Must we
I am
identify?
And as you say that sentence, Karas goes down in pain.
Oh gosh, you know, you just shook my whole
Look,
desk.
I'm sorry that I'm going to cause you pain, but I'm going to talk quite a lot here. So look, and he'll put his hand on your shoulder. Look, can you bear with it? Are you okay? So every time someone talks, you seem to be in pain. For me, it was whenever someone was talking, I had to speak louder than them.
You see his Karas is literally just like, it looks like he's dying on the floor at the moment.
I don't know. There doesn't seem to be anything too different for me.
Maybe a part of my sentence is mandatory.
Ugh.
Say that again. Flaming Man?
I, as a player, I'm struggling with this because I suck at English. Let's just put it that way. This was like the worst one. Maybe part of my sentences are mandatory.
Okay, say a different sentence.
My ideas are very minimal.
Say another sentence.
His Karas just drops in pain one more time.
During this whole interaction, is it possible that Lika could use her spear and just smash the light in front of Karas?
Alright, you swing forth towards it.
Swing at it?
Nothing happens.
Yeah.
My sentences are minimal. My knowledge is minimized.
No pain.
At this point, you see as Karas is just, I imagine he's just at this point just saying pain every time he just sort of drops down.
Is it okay if I also take a swipe at my light ball thing?
Sure. You swing at it, nothing happens. It doesn't seem to break.
Okay,
She's
why was I helped? Okay, I was talking over others constantly. Why did mine shatter?
Wait.
Karas dropped down.
Wait. I figured out what you were doing, and then it finished. Goes down in pain. What?
Okay, for you, whenever there is, and he's going to clap his hands real quick.
Okay.
Does that cause any pain?
No.
Nope.
Okay, so it's whenever someone is talking that you go into pain, whether it's others or yourself.
No. When Pyre talked, it was pain. Fine.
What? You got 2 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Okay, but you were hurting when I was talking, right?
Pain now.
Must I identify that when someone speaks, you are in pain majority?
Nothing happens.
Must my affliction be broken before yours is
Pain.
misunderstood?
You see as
Pain.
you see you see his garage just falls over at this point. He's just like
I talked.
Alright.
Fine, right?
You are stuttering.
But now, when I speak pain, fuck, it's
Is it
hard.
whenever someone talks that you have to say pain and then you feel pain?
He's not. Well, he wasn't doing this all the time. He's just doing this now. He's just saying pain.
I'm just not saying pain. I'm actually not saying pain in character.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't want to get you confused.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, you got a minute and 30 seconds. This is gonna get a little, it's gonna get a lot worse if you don't finish or figure this out soon.
Purple Man, what's your fucking thing?
I don't know. It doesn't feel too different to me. Sometimes it feels like I have something stuck in my friggin' throat.
Why are you talking really weird now? You seem
Because
to be
I'm confused.
stuttering.
Somehow,
What?
slime has gotten down his throat and he can't make sense.
1 minute.
Like for now, I'm fine.
Must we continue this with guidance?
Oh God! Oh.
See.
30 seconds.
Somehow he's got a frog stuck in his throat and that's why he's stuttering.
Cross just fucking keels over and dies. Not really, but he is like writhing.
But both in character and out of character, because I know all of them.
Zephyr will just whisper to him, "Is this any better?"
He drops down and face plants into the ground.
The louder we are, the more pain it. Oh shit.
Alright, that's time. Oh god, this is gonna hurt. Everybody here takes 10 points of psychic damage.
Oh.
Why am I not Vilmos now?
Oh no, Pyre, you immediately go unconscious. You can heal him back up, but everybody takes 10 points of psychic.
Zephyr
Wait, what?
will just-
I don't know. I fixed it.
Is Leica still alive? Oh wait, no, it's Pyre. Zephyr will just do one lay on hands on Pyre.
Alright, as you do... How many do you have? Oh, well, you got your long rest on.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. You are brought back to 1 HP as you see as Zephyr begins to rush over and begins to put his hands out. They course with a little bit of electricity and just sort of shock you back awake.
And I will give myself one.
Alright, I'll give you another 15 minutes, but that's all I can do. After that, seems to be you're gonna be done. Alright.
So, before we start this timer, who is actually bound? Zephyr's the only one that is currently free, correct?
Yeah, he is not, he does not have a silhouette around him. Alright, timer starting, over for 15 minutes. Alright, get a move on.
My sentence must be muttered.
I say that in character. I figured out Zephyr's cringes and pain, affliction, and it went away.
Yeah, but have we not figured out your affliction?
No.
I don't know how to phrase this. Dang it, must your pain be tied to when someone says a name of the
Those cringes
Mary
and pain.
band?
Cringes and pain a whole lot after that sentence. But nothing happened when Zephyr spoke.
Are you in pain when anyone who's bound to these orbs is speaking?
Cringes and pain.
It seems so, at least.
Cringes and pain.
Okay. So it's not to do with
Pain.
Okay, so you're hurting when I talk.
Cringes and pain.
Are you still holding a orb, Zeph?
No, it shattered.
Cringes and pain. Oh my god.
Is it to
Fired.
do with when someone's speaking?
Cringes and pain.
Are you able to answer us?
when cringes and pain while trying to speak, And then, hold on. Letter. A letter.
You'll grab like a stick or something and just start scribbling on the ground. Just
May it be
or pass it over to him.
Bimroth,
The letter-
check your DMs.
why
Hold on.
murder?
Oh, is it whenever someone says a certain letter? Okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S,
Criticism
T,
pain.
S, S,
He is just dying at the moment.
S, so it's S. Are you cringing in pain or are you not
Yes.
cringing in pain?
Cringing in pain.
He is like
So
running
whenever-
around in circles on the ground.
Whenever
It's bad.
says, whenever someone says the letter S, you feel pain.
And at that moment, you see as Karas's silhouette begins to slowly dissipate and the purple orb shatters. Oh boy.
My sentences are
Yes.
minimal.
Okay, let's sort out the others before time.
You got 11
Goes
minutes
out.
left.
My sentences are limited mysteriously.
You cannot go. Can you only say a certain amount of words?
My limit in my sentence seems to be affected when I'm talking. I can talk normally, but for some reason I just don't know what's happening and trying to be mindful.
Okay, so whenever you are thinking, you cannot finish a sentence.
My thoughts are clear. It's just I have to be mindful.
Is it whenever you try and say something certain?
Oh, this sucks. I can't form it fast enough. My understanding is everything's unlimited in word-wise, but you know, misunderstanding. My sentences are minimal, though. My sentences are minimal.
You have to make sentences as short as possible.
My sentences can be any length, as I talk minuscule. Sensei, out of character, do the sentences have to make sense?
No.
Okay, I've been trying to make them make sense for like 30 minutes now. Okay.
And you only say certain words.
My sentences seem to be unaffected, but I just end weird. Master.
Do you have to start it with a certain letter?
It's at the end.
Mindful to that? I'm not
No.
really sure. Masterful.
Do you have to? Do you have to use a very smart word at the beginning?
No, I just noticed something. Somehow, Mr. Pyre speak.
You're asking him to speak? My little furry friend, please fix me this. Mandatory.
Oh. He's gonna look directly at Anth, saying very carefully, "Speak, Mr. Pyre. Please speak."
What?
Pyre
I-
looks at you and goes, my ability to speak isn't altered. I don't have to ask permission. But for some reason, just random things are added. Mitosis.
Oh man.
You have to
wait.
say the last word of your sentence has to begin with an M.
Yeah, I'll count that.
Okay.
You see as Pyre's silhouette of yellow begins to slowly dissipate, and the orb shatters before you.
It had
So
to
sorry that
start
took
and
so
end
long.
with them, yeah.
Oh.
Lika,
Okay.
now. Lika,
Talk.
Anth, go.
Talk.
Just, can everyone just say something in certain,
Why?
Surely.
In certain.
just one by one say something.
Hello.
I'm saying hello.
Hello?
You have to clear your throat every time someone speaks. Anytime someone addresses you, you have to clear your throat.
Um, uh,
You have to
Hello?
clear your throat every time someone speaks.
not quite, not quite.
So only when Mr. Pyre speaks, you must clear your throat. Surely.
You see as Anth's form begins to stop silhouetting with the coursing green light, and the green orb begins to dissipate. You are freed.
It was attached to me?
Yes.
How in the hell are we gonna figure that out?
Because the way you just did. Oh man.
Okay.
I saw it
we
in
got
Lika's eyes
Church
like,
of the Monks.
oh no, she knows. She knows.
Someone sincerely. See?
You got 6 minutes, you're doing fine.
No.
Okay, talk to us.
Sure.
Say something else.
You have to speak one-word sentences.
Speak. Sure. Somehow I'm speaking now. Somehow.
Is it every certain number of words?
Can you talk more? Can you say? Can you repeat after me? I am a red panda.
Someone in front of me says I'm a red panda. Somehow.
You can't say people's names.
No.
Somehow you're wrong.
Don't say
Can
somehow.
you not talk for yourself?
Somehow.
Somehow this is not making any sense.
Do your sentences have to start and begin with the letter S?
That being said, you see as Lika's silhouette begins to dissipate from a blue light, and the blue final orb begins to shatter. And as that happens, you see as Mimir begins.
That's what I'm thinking.
Thank you for ending the torture.
Mimir just says,
understand your
"Holy
PTSD."
hell, that was something right there." Well, you
Sensei,
did
I
it.
hate you. Just saying. I hate you.
That's the same puzzle I used in Pantheon Divided. Oh my gosh. So
Why?
Bimroth was
Why
straight
did
up
you do this to me?
mauling.
Why did you do this to me?
It was the funniest thing ever because I looked over at the purple orb, I'm like, oh, wait, isn't it the same thing you got last time? Oh!
Yes, it was. It was exactly the same.
Oh my god, that puzzle is evil. That puzzle
I totally
is
went
fucking
out of
evil.
character. I'm so sorry. I figured it out. I'm like,
So, for those of you who guys don't know, if you ever want to torture your party and all that stuff, basically the puzzle is, you can clip this or whatever, this is for chat, because someone asked earlier. Basically the puzzle is there's 5 orb, or like the consistent thing, there's 5 orbs, each orb has a curse. You hand out the, red is basically something comes across whoever touches the, red orb, where they have to, or they cannot speak unless someone else is speaking, and they have to speak over them. They have to talk very, very loudly. That's the one Zafir had. Purple is the one.
I'm so sorry.
I was like, God dang, Finn's gonna hate this one. I'm sorry, buddy. Oh man.
He's already bossy enough, man.
Yeah, I was like, God dang it,
to
I'm
be
sorry, Finn.
To be honest, I thought my sentences had to make sense.
No. Purple, if someone touches the purple orb, something comes across them, a magical force, and they cringe in pain or fear whenever you speak or hear a word containing the letter S. Oh, man.
And I had the same thing with the other character.
Yeah. And also the funny thing is, it gets really crazy. So something for blue, something comes across this person where every sentence must begin and end with the word that begins with the letter S. So anytime Lika speaks, Kairos was just dying.
Yeah.
Yellow is basically
M, right?
Yellow's pretty similar. It's every sentence must begin with the word that begins with the letter M. And green, this one is, so it's supposed to be like if you're playing in game, like in person, it's supposed to be whenever the person to your left speaks, then you gotta clear your throat. But we're playing online, so I just said, all right, pyre. So it kind of made it easier a little bit.
Like last time I had that curse, the person who was supposed to talking beginning with S was a Goliath barbarian, so you know.
They didn't really talk. They were very, very quiet.
Yeah.
Oh man. So there you guys have it. There is a way to put people in pain. Alright. That said, good work. You all did good and fantastic. That said,
Pyre's sitting here like starting to pass out. Sure, you jerk.
that one's a classic. That one's a classic. See, I didn't necessarily come up with that one. That fucking the one Farika, she did long ago.
How do you spell Farika?
I gotcha. All right.
Wait, what did he say? Sorry, I kind of missed it.
He said that he didn't come up with it. Farika, she did. Oh man.
Real fucking funny.
What?
Pyre takes his quarterstaff back and Mimir is now either just being held. I'm not keeping you on this. This is mine.
Hey, Mimir, I don't get healing, or I don't get that long rest anymore, do I?
Well, see, the thing is, not really. You ain't got much time for that one. You may be able to get away with a short one, but not a long one.
Okay, short one will do. He's
Alright.
going to go over here and just rest. Just plop his head back. Just grow.
I guess we could rest
Hold
and go straight to the next challenge.
Well,
Wait, how
see,
many challenges are there?
well, you see, the thing is, that is the 4th challenge. There's 5 challenges total. It seems between the likes of you and that one's group, you've completed all of them, what you need, except for the last one. That one and his individuals, they're gonna be going toe-to-toe with a couple of individuals and whatnot. You all, hell, hope you all are ready for a battle. Cause,
So
you've tested...
can we rest beforehand?
Yeah.
You all, yeah, you probably can. Yeah, those individuals probably not. They've been resting for too long. Now, I will say, I don't know exactly how time works really in voting. Haven't been there in a while. But,
It's fucked up.
yep, from what I've heard. But, I can say that, I don't know exactly how long or how much the time really translates from here to voting, so you could end up waking up a couple of days in the future, couple years, months, minutes, hours, seconds, who knows.
Wouldn't
I
be
don't
nothing
care.
new.
I lost so many years.
Pyre's looking at everyone going, I'm not gonna make it in a fight.
So maybe
I
we
did-
should take a minute to rest here and at least get in slightly better shape than we are right now.
I would heal you up, Flaming One, but yeah, we have a fight next. I have to conserve my energy.
No, you've helped us enough. I just need a rest. I'll patch some stuff up and I should be good to go.
I have this one fancy song for resting.
Um,
If
so
any of you are having a long rest, do you mind maybe healing me up?
See, Zappy
We
begins
have
to
to?
just sort of walk up to Zephyr. You just sort of look at him puzzled.
Oh
And then
my
just sort of
god,
bark.
it's a lightning dog.
I know,
Yes.
Why?
it's cute.
This doesn't have to do anything with Kuranos, does it?
What?
Zappy. He's a lightning dog.
Are you
like his
asking me?
mascot.
I don't know. What are you doing here? Are you
Yeah.
asking me or asking Zappy?
Asking the dog, are you Kronos?
Yeah, like I don't know what you're asking you.
I'm asking Sensei, the DM.
Player intuition. I don't know. You got to figure it out. Well, I mean, I do
Zephyr
know,
doesn't-
but like you got to figure that out.
Does Zephyr know of this creature?
You, make a history check for me.
Okay. I think I'll try and stop talking so I don't interrupt too much anymore.
16. You do remember this creature alongside the likes of these other individuals, except for this one. This guy you've never seen in your life. Oop, I yeeted him. That guy you've never seen in your life. But you have seen
meant
this
more-
individual, this individual, and this individual. But you also remember seeing this individual on that ship. He's
But
pretty
do I know
noticeable.
what is?
He's a blink
you
dog.
were on this ship.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you know that.
He'll just scratch his head. Just.
He lets you and just sort of licks your face, and as he does, it sort of shocks you, but you're kind of used to electricity, so it doesn't matter.
But you said you had a song for us?
Sure. Just when people want to start taking a small bit of rest, so I can play you a little bit of on the horn.
Yeah, so before we short rest or whatever, Pyre would cast mage armor on himself, hearing that there's a battle. And that lasts 8 hours.
Alrighty. That said, as you do, your AC is now raised to 14.
Yes.
Wow.
Hey, it's +3.
Alright. As this is sort of happening, Anth, are you doing your Song of Rest?
Sure.
Alright. As this happens, oh boy, it's all coming together. As you begin to play your Song of Rest and begin to continue off, you play a sort of smoothing or soothing sort of tune with that of your horn.
I was thinking, yeah, okay, sure.
Oh man.
Do you want a sample too?
What does Song of Rest do?
You guys get to add it. Well, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I thought it would roll, but it's supposed to heal for 1d6 in a short rest.
Oh, okay.
Can I click hit short rest, by the way?
Yeah, you guys can hit short rest and all that stuff.
Okay.
I can roll one of these as well.
Oh, hold on, make sure I got this right. Alright.
I'm fully healed up, anyways. So.
Alright, so you guys can do all that sort of stuff. And when you guys are good to go, let me know.
Thank you, people. I'm not sure if I'll have time to get all of your names. But, tell me your names before I have to go.
Karas.
Aros.
I'm Anthrax.
Okay, Anthrax.
Pyre.
Fire. And you? Small one. I can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
I'm Lika.
Ika, it's good to meet all of you. But
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Zephyr.
I should probably go make sure the others are okay. I think I've spent too long here.
Alright. That's fine. The others are sort of just residing and waiting. I think the mushroom wants to come. I sort of join you. Probably, but...
Here or?
Yeah, here. Remember, as I said, 2 different arenas. Yes, sir.
Did the song
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Thank you guys, or thank you Phoenix for the raid. Much love, much love. Thank you guys so much, and welcome raiders. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now I will say beforehand, oh yeah, Nightbot's gonna like, it's gonna spam and like block you guys because it's for like the hate raid protection and all that stuff, just in case. So sorry about that. But
because I tried to
one thing to be known, I am DMing at the moment, so I won't be able to pay too much attention to chat. But thank you guys for joining in. They're having a great time, and we're just reveling in all the fun. So hey, if you enjoy yourself, make sure to leave a follow because it means the world to me. Other than that, we're gonna get back into the game. Thank you guys again. Hope your stream went well.
Wait.
All right, there we go. All right, sorry about that. Had to think a raid.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's Phoenix. Hold on, mods will do the mods. Can you guys do the shout out command for Phoenix? Thank you. All right.
I forgot the command.
It's I got you.
Yeah, if you use any heat die, if you use any heat die, you get an extra 1d6.
Okay. So because I roll the 3 on the 1d6, that's why I'm asking. Cool.
That being said, what?
Because also during the short rest, I'm going to use Arcane Recovery and get my spell slot back.
So, as this is beginning to happen, you guys are sort of like looking or attending to that of your wounds, and as you're sort of finishing up sort of goodbyes and introductions and whatever you want to say, and you begin to see the the marking upon your hand begins to sort of shine and glow. And as that begins to happen, oh boy, you begin to see as a visage of an individual appearing in front of you. And you see that smaller sort of mushroom individual as well, as their hand begins to glow once more, almost simultaneously. This red triangle sort of almost branded into the palm of your hand. You watch as it begins to almost detach itself right in front of your very eyes. And you watch as it begins to expand outwards to a bigger form. Oh boy. Inside of the red triangle, we'll just use this actor or this little token just for now, or for the time being. But as it begins to do so, you see inside of it a visage of an individual, visions from what you can tell. That being said, as this all appears in front of you, what do you guys do?
You say Ingot's coming?
Well, Anth can see Ingot, and basically the same sort of thing is happening on his end. You just see like a small sort of like transparent sort of visage off to the side.
And we'll just see Ingot and just think, ah, shit. As there are things glowing, and that didn't seem to go too well with this creature before.
That said, granted, the map or the icon or whatever in front of your screen, though it is circular, it is not it's not actually a circle. It's supposed to be a triangle. Obviously, I don't have the token for that. I got that much production value.
What exactly is happening?
I have a feeling that your small mushroom friend is coming over.
Why?
Because this thing is open and I see that thing. And as I remember, it like shiny and this.
That's
It's,
probably not a good sign.
Oh yeah,
Alright.
that's what I thought.
That side. Oh boy. As this begins to happen. Alright. Ingot, if you would like to join chat for us now. Oh boy. It's time. It's time for the shinies, everybody. Hide your shinies. Everybody run. Oh, what up?
Pocket your mouth.
Here you go. I
have no
will.
shiny.
Zephyr will just like pick up and put Zappy on his lap.
Oh man. Hold on, I'm gonna drag Ingot in here.
Like introducing your cat to the dog.
There you go. I knew the overlay was gonna mess up, but that's fine. I can fix it over on my end. In the meantime. Alright. So, Ingot, you can start loading into Foundry and all that stuff while I'm fixing everything up. But, I'll explain what you see as this begins to happen. Alright. So, as you, or Ingot, you watch as, well, also, hold on, make sure. Seth, you there?
Hello.
There we go. So, as this begins to happen, Ingot, you watch as the marking upon your hand, the red triangle, begins to sort of surge with electricity for this moment. You look towards it, and it seems to be that you see a visage of several individuals. A familiar tiefling man that, from what you saw before, also had a red marking upon his hand, similar to yours, a red triangle. When you witness this, you begin to see as the visions, the visages, or of transparent nature begin to actually become a reality as you watch yourself slowly phase from one arena to the next. You appear and you look around and you see the likes of Zephyr, but you also see the likes of the other individuals that you met earlier. That said, as the mark upon your hand is glowing, and you also see familiar individuals. What do you say and what do you do? I'm going to drag your token onto the field in just one moment.
I think Ingot will first just look a little stunned and be a bit mesmerized by the shiny that is happening on his hand.
Well, it gets even worse because as you look towards the sort of shiny red triangle, you see as it begins to detach itself or right in front of you and begins to conjoin with that of Anth's sort of red triangle off to the side, and you watch this sort of strange, I don't know why it moved itself, but you see as it begins to slowly bring itself towards you closer and begins to slowly expand outwards into a massive sort of state. Inside, you can see as there are sort of multiple visages and visions as well, happenings inside of it. That said, what are you guys all saying and what are you guys all doing as this appears in front of you?
Yeah,
Is
just
this
get
ever-
ready to go.
Has this ever happened to you guys before?
No,
No.
not to me at least. I don't know about these people.
Wait, were their symbols the same?
It's easy enough to kind of tell, Zephyr, because you saw the red triangles detach themselves.
Yeah. Zephyr will just hold up his hand to show the blue wave kind of symbol. I'm guessing not, but does anyone have the same?
Nope,
Good to
not
know.
me.
I don't think so.
When Pyre holds up his left hand, it's two circles within each other.
Alright, as this happens, you see as there's bits of sort of strikes on a sort of surge of electricity coming from the sort of center of the triangle. You see as it begins to coagulate and begins to sort of form around it. And you see as it begins to shift in nature once more to something else. Well, you're not necessarily looking at it, but just looking around it, you see as it begins to just sort of shine different colors. The main color being this sort of bright white kind of blue sort of thing. That's it. Are you guys doing anything?
Ingot would like to stick his finger into the massive visages.
Alright. As you begin to do so, oh boy. Ingot, you stink your finger directly into it, and nothing seems to happen, but it does give a weird sort of sensation. It's kind of like this strange sort of mass of energy sort of rolling around your finger. It's very, very strange, nothing you felt really before, but occasionally it does sort of surge with a little bit more of electricity, similar to when you experienced that boon from Kuranos before.
I think it's gonna just slowly move more and more of his hand into the thing.
Alright.
Oh boy. Hey, Mushroom! Make sure the mouth thing is on that hand, so in case it gets chopped off, at least it's gone with it.
What mouth thing?
Nothing.
That doesn't sound like nothing to me.
Hey, Anthelika and Pyre, make a perception check.
Oh no.
22, 11, 4,
Make one.
and not for this.
Okay.
Lika, as you're sort of just glancing around, you notice something in the visage, a familiar individual. You see as they have sort of grayish white hair and arms completely made of crystal. You see Thorin inside.
Thorin's in there. Thorin's inside there, and she's gonna run right towards this.
Alright. As you begin to do so, are you looking inside it?
Yes.
Alright.
And Wood'll try to stop you from going in.
Huh, easy enough. Like, I'm just basically saying, are you looking at it or are you trying to go inside of it?
I think you're muted.
Wait, what? Oh.
No.
I'm looking inside of it at the moment.
Alright. If that's the case, if you're looking inside it, oh boy. We then turn to this. Oh boy. Welcome to the show, my friends. I'm gonna change
I
maps.
felt all of the emotions.
Oh boy.
I don't know if I can feel anymore.
Let's do this. Oh boy, here we go. Work in progress map. Alright. Thorin.
Hello.
How's it going, friend?
It's going.
Yeah, it's going. It's going. Thorin, you stand there, and as you do, you are chained, you are battered, and you are bruised. Barely left with an inch of your life. Your vision's sort of hazy, and you see as it begins to, or as it almost from what you can tell, you think you reside atop of a mountain high up in altitude. And you stand atop an altar, chained and unable to move with this strange sort of thing, but it seems to be, as you glance up to a higher portion of this mountain, you see as the massive storm bird with mechanical gears begins to look towards you from the likes of its nest from above. Oh boy. You see as this massive in size with this sort of almost weirdly structured sort of almost futuristic sort of design and nature to it, completely made out of metal, no flesh in sight. And you see as it begins, or as the cogwheels begins to slowly turn, with a single flap of its wings, it begins to leap off about 50 feet higher in the sky before dive bombing directly towards you. Oh boy.
And Lika sees all of that through that nice
anybody
shiny
looking
portal?
through anybody looking through this can see it.
Oh yeah, no, she's gonna dive right in there if
I
she
think
can.
Ingot's also going to dive in because he has never seen a crystal man before.
As you guys begin to do so, you guys watch as your vision, or your literal persons begin to just phase through the triangle. It doesn't seem to be a solid sort of thing, only just a visage that you can just sort of pass through and look into, from what you can tell. It kind of feels the same sort of sensation that you felt earlier, Inge, when you put your finger inside of it. A little bit of surge of electricity goes across you, so it does mess up your fur a little bit, Lika, but nothing more than that. As this occurs, you watch as the Stormbird begins to dive bomb directly towards Thorn, and you feel the great force of the wind, all of you around the portal, as well as Thorn yourself especially. As the wind begins to pick up and you feel the bits of snow almost hit you directly in the face, as the creature stops only inches away from you. Its eyes surging with electricity as it stares you up and down. As you sort of feel that of its breath and its entire presence, you just hear as it says, oh boy.
Where is he? You know. He knows. And if he knows, you know.
Oh. What do you want to know?
Where is Dragonborn? Green Scale. I see power, his power. He requires it to start anew, to begin once more.
What green dragonborn? I don't know any green dragonborns.
You see as he immediately just begins to take one of his talons and just sort of slices directly across your chest as bits of more blood begins to spill out onto the ground. Doesn't seem he's satisfied with that answer.
What's his name?
Unknown. Where is Green Scale?
I don't know anyone who has green scales.
At this point, you see as immediately the individual begins to become just writhing with rage and hatred. As it does, you see as his entire forms begin to course with this sort of electricity. His eyes begin to turn red, and you see as he begins to flap his wings out before immediately screeching. And with it, you guys begin to see as lightning and thunder begins to course amongst the entirety of the mountain. As it does, lightning strikes to the left and right and begins to shake you, Thorn, before eventually the visage begins to fade. Return back to this area. Oh boy. As it happens, you guys watch as both red triangle marks begin to slowly dissipate and begin to form right back onto the palms of Antha's hand and also that of Ingot's hand. For it is no more. Anybody sort of watching or anywhere close would have heard or seen all of that.
I'm gonna kill that robo chicken. I'm gonna kill him. 9.
I'm not quite sure that's a chicken.
Zephyr. Oh boy.
Oh,
yep, you forgot about that one, didn't you?
No, I did not.
Hey Zephyr, how's it going, friend?
Oh, fuck now. Why so much chaos with this group?
Ask Sensei.
You just hearing the voice and looking towards the individual who was chained, immediately more and more begins to become clear. Oh boy. You begin to see as multiple memories, multiple visages begin to just swarm directly into you. And as it happens, it's almost a similar sensation from what you experienced before when you saw these other individuals and you regained a little bit of your memory. You know that individual well. You've conversed with them before, you've seen them before, they've been on ships with you before. Not a sailor, but definitely a friend. You know their name to be Thorin. As it begins to become clear, the last sort of memories that you remember having with them was simply telling them what was on that paper, what it meant, and also, well, afterwards, you all, with these likes of these individuals, likes of Anthlika and Pyre, fighting alongside on that of a ship before it was ripped in half. Before all of that happened, you knew Thorin, and you told him of what was to come. Cataclysm. Elysian cataclysm, was it? Oh boy. All that information that I told you from the other week, all connected now. You can choose to say that out loud if you want, or you can choose to keep it to yourself. Choice is yours.
How do you know him?
I don't know him.
Oh, God.
New character, who the fuck is this?
I mean, we only knew that they were on the same ship as us when the last time I remember anything, like on going around, and then we woke up in the robot chicken's nest with him. So.
Why the hell would you people call it a robot chicken?
Because it has gears. I was up near its leg. I was trying to get inside of it so I could rip it apart.
Excuse me. Where's this God, such a stupid name. Where's this robot chicken?
We have no idea. That's one of the problems. This is the first time we saw it after we almost died trying to save an individual from that mechanical creature. I suppose that's one way to call it too.
I need to help him. We're heading to a mountain soon. Once we escape this place, and then we're heading to the big tree. Please meet us there. Please.
I'll meet you at the mountain. Are you gonna go take down the rebel chicken too?
I would like to.
Good.
That robot was looking for a city.
For a city. In this place.
Oh. For some reason, Zephyr's name
This is
is...
the city I'm looking for, I think. I need to talk to it.
Can you describe me what this city is, where it is?
I don't know. That's the one information.
Okay.
I'll know once I hear its name, I
It
think.
didn't have to do anything with the black hole, did it?
With what?
Never mind.
Wait, genuinely, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, it didn't have to do anything with the black hole, did it?
Black old.
The black hole.
Black hole. Oh, okay. But first I heard black gold, and then now I heard black hole. Black Hawk.
No, hole.
Hole.
This is all in character, by the way.
Black hole.
Hole.
Why am I over here?
What did you say?
Oh man.
No.
Alright. At this point. Oh, I guess it's just a full fucking house, huh? Alright. You want the strong one to come through? Look towards Zephyr. You'll hear Mimir speak. She's asking.
How do you mean? You mean Spike?
Yeah, that's the one.
As long as they don't need us on the other end, then sure, it'd be great to see your face again.
Probably soon, so make it quick. Alright, that being said, Spike, you may join the voice call for a second as soon as I find your person. Wherever the heck you are in Discord. There you go, there you are.
While they're discussing, could I just go up towards the mushroom buddy?
Sure.
And I'll look over at him and be like, oh, he's glowed same way as my boss glowed. You mind showing me your hand?
Ingot will hold up the hand while they're chewing on the sword with the other hand.
Do not touch the hand.
Hello, welcome. Here, I will describe you coming in and then we'll get back to Lika and Ingot, right after. So you guys see as Mimir's eye begins to shine forth once more, and as it happens, you see as slowly but surely apparating out a larger individual carrying a massive sort of maul amongst their, or over their shoulder. And you see Spike, a familiar individual from before. Oh boy, I just thought about something.
Whoa.
We'll get to that in a minute.
What just happened? Oh, Zephyr? You're here? Oh, Mushroom?
Hey.
Oh, and you guys.
Looks like it's a full fucking house again. Alright.
Hello.
Hey, everything alright here? You guys okay?
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Sure.
That being said, as Spike begins to emerge, Lika and Ingot, what were you guys doing?
I'm gonna look over at Ingot and wave hello to the tall lady that just came in, and look over at Pyre, who's been pacing in squares, and and look over at how these two were connected, and be like, so your palms are the same, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a triangle. Red one.
There we go, fucking
Mr.
again.
Talking Head, what happens if they
Mimir.
touch palms?
Nope.
Please don't.
You see, I have a question for all of you. Oh, man. And then you see it's just because Pyre's carrying Mimir, so he just goes like for a fucking ride for a second. And eventually returns back. Jesus.
I forgot I was carrying him, honestly.
You know, at times like this, I think I kind of miss Myra. Anywho. As I was saying, I have a question. How come whenever you all do stupid stuff, you just be like, huh, that was neat, let me do it again? You know, I might be getting that vibe from you. I could be wrong. Not from you specifically, just everybody in general. Is that right?
I mean, I try and keep a hold on people, but yeah.
It happens.
Alright.
Because everyone also always says, great risk brings great reward.
Alright.
Exactly.
You know, I feel like I should probably have that conversation with the whole knowledge is dangerous sort of thing. But, you know, I feel like y'all will probably not even listen anyways and you're just gonna do it. Is that right?
Well, to me, that sounds like there's a great reward with that knowledge too.
Alright, so I was right. Okay. Well, that being said, honestly, I can't really tell you exactly what will happen with them. Well, I don't recommend it, but you're probably, the only way to find out is by doing it yourself. But again, don't recommend it. So, do as you do.
Inget's gonna walk over to Anthrax with his hand out.
Quickly before,
Nope.
are you sure your symbol was exactly the same with Myra's?
I have a gold dot. They have a gold dot. I have a black dot. They have a black dot. Yes.
Okay, then please don't touch hands.
Inget's gonna walk over to Leica now with his hand out.
No. Yeah. How about you meet this one?
Stop him.
He'll just like rub Sparky and let the electricity like curl around his fingertips, hoping to distract him.
See, he's not forcefully doing it, he's just holding his hand out to them.
Yeah, he's just walking up like, high five? Question mark? I'm imagining that's kind of what he's doing.
Yeah. He's just standing there with his hand out. He's not actually doing anything else except for chew the sword.
That being said, you do see a little bit of Zappy's hair and fur begins to sort of stick up for a brief moment as it surges with purple electricity. Oh. Also, hey Spike. Hey, somebody seems familiar here a little bit.
Oh?
A certain individual. A certain, flaming individual with, wild hair.
Oh, fuck, that's true! Hey! I seen you!
Wanna cue me in?
Pointing at Pyre. Pointing at Pyre. You just see her eyes open wide. And, I've seen you!
Spam the
You
emotes
Yes, we all see him.
No, he was in the weird bird dude, the keeper's bar. How do you know him?
I met him right now.
But who are you? And I'm pointing at Pyre. Like, what do you know? Do you know me?
Pyre, what do you do? Oh no! Did his internet go out?
No, he's coming right back, I think.
It always freezes on the most natural position, so it's full of everyone.
No, you can't make this stuff up.
Interesting in his keyboard.
No, imagine you just
I lagged
like
out there big time, so I have no idea what's happening.
Okay. I'll do that again. So suddenly Spike just has like a flash of recognition and just points at you and like, I know you! I saw you in the Keeper's Tavern! Who are you? Do you know me? What were you doing there? What are you doing here?
Do I know anything that Spike is telling me right now?
You do know about the Keeper's Tavern. Have you seen it before the first time? But other than that, no. There's a crazy lady pointing at you.
A very big, very crazy lady.
Yes.
The side.
Oh,
I feel like that's just his character freezing up.
Wait, no, he's back.
Yeah, no, I'm lagging like crazy. So.
Oh no, it's fine. But it makes sense. You're the time mage. You're just sort of zipping and zopping out of time and all that stuff.
Not a time mage, bud.
Oh yeah, my bad. Well, it's the same thing, damn it, and you know it is.
Not really.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I mean, Is it though?
Yeah.
No, not really.
I'd say not really.
Alright, you guys are capping, but anyways, continue.
He just kind of looks at you, Spike, and goes,
Oh. Well, I guess Amethyst didn't remember what happened when she was in there, so I guess they probably like wipe your brain or something. Are you sure you don't know me? Or
is there?
Peeper's Tavern. Peeper's Tavern. Fuck is it? Why does it sound familiar?
Is
I don't fucking know. Why is it like that? Ever have that sort of feeling when you're like sort of trying to remember something but you can't really put your finger on it?
Is that you saying it?
Yes, it is, Mimir.
Really?
Don't you fucking
Really?
say it. Don't you.
Aren't you supposed to be the god of knowledge?
Like I said, been locked up here for a long time, only know about the past and whatnot.
So are you the god of knowledge anymore, or are you the god of history?
You got one more time, Panda Boy. That said, Keeper's Tavern. Why does that sound familiar? What's this whole thing about?
Seems like he takes Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
sorry, I was. Is this Mimir talking?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's the keeper kept taking our companions, and well, I looked into his portal and seemed to be like some kind of tavern. But he was so rude. He didn't even want us to go in. Didn't even offer us a hot drink. Like, we're freezing our asses out here, and he just didn't care.
Wait, hold on. Tavern Keeper, wait a minute. So, what does Tavern look like exactly?
Like just any old regular tavern. There was a bunch of people hanging out. He was there, pointing at Pyre. There was a few other people. It looked nice and warm and comfortable. I didn't see much more than that. I just saw it for a few moments.
Oh, the entrance to the tavern seems to be a door that can be apparently placed anywhere.
Any sort of defining features about it anywhere? Like any specific colors or something?
Let me double check in my notes.
Flips through like 8 novels worth of notes. I'll be back.
Going into the deep notes,
Going into the deep notes. Oh, man.
I don't have.
Oh.
No, I don't really have much notes about that portal with crows. Are my notes not useful?
No.
No.
Oh, no.
Well,
It's probably in there somewhere.
you see his well,
big room with many people, heroes. Yeah, no, I didn't write anything else for that. Fuck.
you're telling me, well, you said you went in there before, and you told me that, or you said that you can't really remember going in there, right? He's
Who
looking,
is he addressing?
kind of towards Pyre. He can't really like point at
okay.
people, you know, so he's just kind of talking.
I have no idea
Gotcha.
what this tavern is. I don't recollect anything. I just know that he keeps yanking me through, and I appear, and I disappear apparently.
Okay, who's all been in the with this keeper individual? I think I'm connecting some things.
Hey, we did see something, remember? He painted Amethyst, or he painted the lizard to life. Remember?
Yeah.
Life. All right, Mimir's gonna make a. At this point, Mimir gets to make an intelligence check or a history check. Oh boy, here we fucking go.
I thought he knew everything about history. Why does he need to make a check?
He knows all, but remembers nothing.
He has a plus 26. My God.
39. Alright, so he only knows this much. Alright, here's what happens.
Plus 26.
You'll see as he begins to just sort of like, begins to sort of recall, and you watch his eye begins to sort of shine this bright purple light once more. I have a question for you all. Have you seen what's behind the mask of that individual?
Frankly, I'm too frightened to try.
No, I don't think anyone here has. Or
No.
I assume, as that thing seems to be very keen on keeping things private anyways. Even speaking seems to be too much.
Mm-hmm.
Probably would rather not look.
He gives shinies.
Give you shinies?
Didn't give me a drink either.
There's no fucking way.
What is it?
Aye. He will look towards the individuals who have read the paper, and call them out.
Which paper?
The paper with the bad shit on it.
They're
Tyler's
weird.
bad shit or this
Pyre's
other bad shit? Okay.
Whoever who has called or read out the paper, he will call you over.
Hey.
All right. Everyone else, he will just begin to say, "All right, give us a little bit of space. I need to talk to these couple individuals for a second."
Zephyr will just grab his head and walk off with him.
All right, he just keep it on his head's on like a staff is like tied to, so he just sort of take the rope and just carry him.
Yeah.
All right.
Foreign will try to not foreign. What the fuck? Karas will try to.
Can you drag me over there, Sensei?
I got you.
Yeah. It's being dum-dum.
Easy peasy. What were you trying to say, Karas?
Karas will try to eavesdrop.
All right. That said,
And probably Zephyr will probably look around and probably see him because it's an open coliseum.
well, I'll
And
tell you
he'll
what.
just give you a bit of a menacing look.
Well, first, before we even get to any of that, Karas, make a stealth check followed by a perception check to see if you're able to play it off in the first place. 10. All right, and then perception check one more time.
Hold on.
Not from you, Zephyr, from Karas.
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna do something extra.
Okay. All right. Add a d6 for me. 4, total 14. All right, Zephyr, make a perception check.
Another one?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. No,
8. Yeah, you don't even notice them. All right, now Karas, make a perception check. Ooh, that was nearly a 20. Jesus.
And I will also use knowledge from the past life again.
All right. Roll another d6 for me.
Oh, not d8. What the fuck?
Total of 3,
And-
so 12.
And I will throw all my inspiration points into this.
All right. That being said, 12, and then you tell me how many inspiration points. Real quick. 4. All right. Total of 16. Oof. All right. Well, here's what you hear, everybody. You as well, Karas. You hear as Mimir speaks and says, "All right. So, this keeper fella. I don't know if this is true, but I've heard a couple of stories. Deception God not too long ago. You all have read the sort of note and whatnot. I assume you know what that means, and all that stuff, for the most part. Real dangerous shit, as I said before. Long ago, there was a god of the sorts. Apparently abandoned the Pantheon. Long ago. I don't think that it could be him. I don't think, probably not. Don't know why you'd fucking just go running about and whatnot. But could be that fucker is not who he's saying he is. Could be. Well, put it in our perspective. Who I'd refer to as Loki. For those of you, refer to him as Phonax. And whatnot. I've heard a couple of stories about him and whatnot, sort of him being shown and seen across bits of, well, all of really Aurora and whatnot. Wasn't entirely sure if it's true. You three right here? If you're able to confirm that. Oh, goodness.
Sorry, I lagged out.
I'll repeat it in a minute. If you three are able to confirm that, you tell me, you tell no one else. You keep that to yourself. If so, yeah, then, God.
Let me ask you one thing.
Aye.
What's in it for us?
Well, you might be able to stop Ragnarok from happening. Oh, boy. And you see as he begins to say that, oh boy. You all just begin to hear from almost out from just all around. You're not entirely sure where it begins to sort of come from, any specific location, but you hear the likes of a massive sort of almost roar out into the cosmos itself as he says Ragnarok. And you all hear this. Oh. And that's where we will end today's session. Oh boy. That being said, thank you everybody for who decided to tune in to watch, and also everybody who decided to play today. Special shout out to all of the guest players of the likes of Ingot, Spike, and Zephyr. Thank you guys for joining in on such short notice and all that stuff.
Thank you.
Oh boy. We had to end a little bit early because a couple people got to get going. So, Alika, I know you got to get going. So, goodbye. See ya. Get going. All right. Thank you guys again. I will be right back. I'm gonna you guys can hang out in like Discord chat. I'm gonna break down stream and all that stuff in just a moment. But
all right,
I'll be right back.
Recap what just happened in the last 5 minutes. Like I have lost.
Oh man. But thank you guys again for everybody who decided to tune into the show and all that stuff. Here, let me switch on over to overlays and all that stuff. But hey, this overlay's messed up, but that's fine. But hey, everybody, my name is SenseiSuplex, and thank you, TrueGZ, for the follow. But my name is SenseiSuplex. I'm a professional dungeon master, and essentially, I not only do sort of things like that, but I run a giant persistent universe known as Project Aurora. As you guys probably could tell throughout the session, unless you guys just joined in, it's a giant universe where several campaigns and other dungeon masters all run things in that of the universe that can affect each other in big or small ways. These are actually, to get a little bit of insider knowledge, these are actually two different groups, and they're having crossover between one another as events have happened in the universe to allow so, right? And all that craziness. So hey, the cool thing about it is everybody leaves their mark. being able to affect the games and the universe in real time, whether it be world building or just the games itself. Whether you're giving out inspiration points, whether you're helping world building, getting your ideas actually added and implemented into the project, or heck, you guys can actually do things and be able to vote on actual events that happen in the universe via Twitter, Discord, or whatever, all that sort of stuff. But hey, if you, hold on, True GZ said something on your Discord. Do you have a place for DMs to apply, or are you guys pretty well set and not looking for new people? No. We are always looking for more individuals who are willing to join that of the project. More than welcoming and more than looking for individuals. We have about 15 staff members, and there's something for everybody there. Whether you want to be a dungeon master, whether you want to be a part of the community event team, if you want to be social media, if you want to be a meme maker for the project, or an artist or anything like that, music, whatever, it doesn't matter. There is something for you guys to help sort of assist and enhance the universe, so be sure to join in, because we'd love to have you. Just join into the Discord, look for PA staff application or something like that, fill out the Google form there. I'll see if I can link it in chat before we go. PA staff application. I'll see if I can link it in chat before we go, but make sure you guys join the Discord to get all that information. But yeah, last thing, or last announcement before we go. So tomorrow, Sunday, be there. We actually have, or we're gonna be celebrating a big ol' event. So recently we just hit 1,000 followers on Twitch, and we are going to be celebrating with a 12-hour stream, but it's not just gonna be a 12-hour stream and just boring fucking world building or just something stupid like a normal stream like this. No. This is going to be an entire or multiple events and a freaking actual celebration with all of the Project Aurora crew, as well as you guys in the D&D community. We're gonna have lots and lots of things. Also, here is the link. Actually, hold on, don't use that link. I'm gonna show you guys this one, or show you guys the new one. Shorten URL. All right, I'm gonna spam this link. Boom. There you go. But we're gonna have multiple sort of things from a Dungeon Masters podcast with the likes of Chris from Rolling Together RPG, another Chris from Carney Sideshow. We even have the likes of Poopy Pants from Chasing Tales RPG, as well as, oh boy, hold on, I want to make sure I don't get everybody, or I don't want to make sure I get everybody's name right and all that stuff. McCall the DM from Check These Out, and many more individuals. That's going to be for the Dungeon Masters podcast, and we're going to be mainly focusing on making and enhancing your D&D games to be the best they can possibly be, bringing them to that next level. So hey, be sure to check that out. That's going to be part of the show. We're going to be doing like a D&D tier list and figuring out all of the crazy sort of or what is the best class in D&D the right way, implementing the social pillars and exploration pillars. We're going to have a D&D session that day, a players podcast for the Auroraverse, a community highlights going over everything. It's gonna be a fun fucking time. Oh my god, I can't wait. And that's gonna be tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. It's gonna be a celebration for the whole D&D community. That being said, thank you guys for watching. And if you enjoyed any of that, if you want to get notified for any of that, be sure to leave a follow on the stream, because it does help me out. Follow me on all the socials, I guess, because we upload stuff on YouTube for tips on how to become a better dungeon master and player. And yeah, that's all I got. So thank you for the follow, Dirk, and I will see you guys. Oh wait, hold on. I'm an idiot. I am a terrible Twitch streamer. I almost forgot. I was supposed to see if we have anybody streaming and rolling together. We do. We do. Hey, Chris is actually streaming right now. So we're gonna go raid over to Roll Together RPG, and we're gonna give them a big ol' hand and big ol' support. So let's go do that. Roll Together RPG. Start the raid. Alrighty. Now we see you guys later. Bye guys, have a good one. Join the raid as the time for battle is upon us.